Hello and welcome to another brand new episode of the Podcast for Education. Remember, it is exclusively brought to you by Africa Business Radio. I am Onoja. Today on the subject mathematics, we have Miss Quinn treating the topic Measures of Central Tendency, and this is for the pupils in Year 5.
Hello learners, I'm Miss Quinn and I'll be your mathematics teacher for today. I'll be teaching Primary 5. So get your pencil, get your papers, your rulers, your erasers, as we learn and flex our maths muscles. Again, our topic for the day is Measures of Central Tendency. We'll be learning how to do series of calculations on these concepts. Okay, now the measure of central tendency provides us with statistical information about a set of data. We have 4 primary measurements that we use, and these are finding the mean, median, mode, and range. Each one of these measurements can provide us with information about our data set. And this information can then be used to define how this set of data are connected. So we're looking at it one at a time. The first measure is the mean, which means average. So to calculate the mean, what you do is you add up all the numbers you have in your data set. Then you divide these numbers by the number of addend. So take for example, I have 5 sets of numbers. Say I have 10, I have 15, I have 12, I have 9, and I have 20. These are the set of numbers I have. So when I say add up these numbers, I mean add up all these numbers you have. Then you divide the sum after adding by the addend. Meaning you now count how many numbers you have. You have 5 numbers. After adding up these numbers, you divide it by 5. Another measure of central tendency is the median. You may have heard the word median before, and it's likely to be on the highway. On the highway, you have opposite lanes of traffic. In the middle of the lane, there's typically a grassy area or a turning point. This area in the middle of the highway is referred to as a median. But here, we'll be looking at the concept median as the middle number when a set of figures are listed in order from the least to the greatest. Meaning that when you're given a set of numbers and you're asked to find the median, the first thing you do is, regardless of how these numbers are, you're meant to arrange the number from the least to the greatest. Meaning, say we have 10, 12, 19, 5, 2 scattered across. The first thing you do is you start with the least. The least number is 2, followed by the next, followed by until you get to the greatest number. So once you've arranged all these numbers, then you can find your median. So like I said, the first thing you do is you arrange the lists. You arrange the set of numbers from the least to the greatest. Once this arrangement is done, you can now find the middle number. Most times, what I advise is for you to get the middle number after arranging, begin to cross out the numbers from the extreme. So you cross out the first number, you cross out the last number. You're left with a particular set of number in between. You keep crossing until you get to the very middle. Sometimes, the number in the middle could just be 1, and sometimes it could be more than 1. But in a situation where you have just one number in the middle, that particular number you have standing in the middle of this set of numbers is the median. But like I said, occasionally you might have an even number of value, which will provide you with 2 numbers in the middle. If this occurs, whereby you have 2 numbers in the middle of a set of number, what you do is you take these 2 numbers and then you divide it. You find the average of the 2 numbers. How do you find the average? Remember, average is the same as mean. What did we do when we were looking at the mean? You add up all the numbers you have in the set, and then you divide it by the addend, which is the number of each number. So now if you have two numbers in the middle, finding your median, you have to apply that same formula you used finding your mean, which is your average. First, you add these two numbers, then you divide the sum by 2. The first step is to make sure the numbers are in order from the least to the greatest. Then the next step is you find the middle number, and since we have two values like I said in the middle, you add up these two numbers and then you divide it by 2. That's for median. Now the next measure is the mode. The mode is the most common, or we say the frequent value or items of a set of given numbers. So how do we find the mode? What you do is you tally or you count how many times a number appears in a list of data. So once you're done counting, say for example, I have numbers like 5, 4, 3, 5, 2, 5. These are series of numbers, but I'm sure if you were following, you realize that I mentioned 5 about 3 times, while every other number is just 1. So if you're asked to find the mode of these particular numbers I just mentioned now, the mode is 5. Why? Because 5 appears more than every other number in the set. So again, your mode is the most common or frequent value of item of a particular set or a particular number or a set of given numbers. And the last measure we'll be looking at today is the range. What's the range? The range is the difference between the highest number and the least number of a given set. What the range provides is a quick and rough estimate of the spread of data value within a set. So it's just a rough estimate. It's just picking the highest number and then you pick the lowest number and then you subtract. Remember, the word difference means you're subtracting. So when you, for example, say we have 5, 4, 1, 3, and on like that. What you do is you pick the highest number, the greatest number, the number with the highest value. And then you pick the lowest, which is 1, and then you subtract it. Whatever answer you get from that subtraction is your range. Now let's solve some example finding the mean, finding the median, finding the mode, and the range. Let's say we're given a list of value. We have 5, we have 13, we have 9, we have 7, we have 1, we have 9 again, we have 2, we have 9, and then we have 11. Now I just mentioned 9 numbers. Again, 5, 13, 9, 7, 1, another 9, 2, another 9 again, and 11. The mean, remember, is commonly known as the average, which is calculated again by getting the sum of all the values in the list and then dividing it by the number of entries. And most times we have the symbol for the mean, which we say it's X bar. How do you write that? You write your capital letter X and then it has a bar on it like a dash on the X. So to find your mean, again, you add up all the numbers in the set and you divide it by the number of entries. So let's add up. We have 5 plus 13 plus 9 plus 7 plus 1 plus 9 plus 2 plus 9 plus 11. When you add up all these numbers, what do you get? 66. Yes, you get 66. Now you've added your numbers. You divide it by the number of entry. Again, how many numbers do we have in that set? We have 9 numbers. So 66 divided by 9. That's how we find our mean. And when you divide it, you have 7.333, and then the 3 keeps going on and on. So what you do is, you round it up either to one decimal place or to a whole number. So if we're going to round up 7.33333 to a whole number, our mean is going to be 7. But if we're meant to round it up to one decimal place, it's going to be 7.3. So here we're picking 7 because I just rounded it up to a whole number. Because why do I have to round it up to a whole number? Because all the numbers in the set are also whole numbers. To be more specific, I rounded up the mean to the nearest one place or to the nearest one digit. Rounding up can also be referred to as an approximation. So I use the wavy equal symbol to suggest that it is an estimation and it's not the exact number. Remember, we have some points behind it, so it's just an estimation. So I'm not just saying that my mean equals 7, but I say it's approximately 7. However, be proactive by asking how many decimal places to round up your final answers to. So that's that for mean. Now let's find the median of this particular set of numbers. Remember I said for you to find your median, you need to arrange your numbers from the lowest or from the least to the highest or the greatest. And then you'll be able to identify the middle value. Again, our number is 5, 13, 9, 7, 1, 9 again, 2, 9, and 11. So we're going to arrange it from the least to the greatest. So what we'll have is 1, 2, 5, 7, 9, 9, 9, 11, and 13. I'm sure you're not surprised I mentioned 9 3 times. Remember, 9 appeared 3 times in the given set. So once you're done arranging, remember I said, start crossing out the numbers from the extreme. So you cross out 1 and 13, 2 and 11, 5 and 9, 7 and another 9, and in the middle, right there in the middle, we're left with just one number, and that's 9. So since the number count of entry is odd, it is guaranteed to have a middle value, and that's just 9. But if, for instance, we have another set of number, and after arranging this set of number, we have 2 numbers in the middle. Remember what I said. You have to find the average of these 2 numbers by adding up the 2 values or adding up the 2 numbers and dividing it by 2. Okay, so let's find the mode of this number, this set of numbers. The mode of the number is the list that appears the most. I'm sure by now we all know what the mode is, which in this case, the mode of the number is 9. The number 9 is repeated 3 times. It showed up the most. Every other number appeared once, but 9 appeared 3 times. So 9 is our mode. Very simple and straightforward. You just see it and then you just know, oh, this number is the mode. Lastly, let's find the range. We don't need to arrange the list into numerical orders, except if you just want to. You should be able to pick those required 2 values by quick inspection. Just look at it and then you know what the highest number is and what the lowest number is. But then, if you find it out to identify, you can arrange in ascending order. Since the range is the difference between the highest and the lowest value, the highest number here is 13 and the lowest is 1. So our range is 13 minus 1, and that gives us 12. Yes, your answer is 12. So right now we've been able to find the mean, the mode, the median, and the range of the set of numbers that was given. Thumbs up to you learners for taking part in today's class. I'm so glad you've learned how to find your mean, your mode, and your median alongside your range. Keep practicing on every concept you've learned. Remember that the more concepts you learn and practice, and the more concepts you get right, the stronger your maths muscles will be. Till we meet again, bye for now.
Thank you for listening to today's episode of the Podcast for Education. Remember, for feedbacks and comments, you can hit us up across any of our social media handles on Facebook or Instagram at Africa Business Radio, Twitter at Africa Biz Radio. You can go ahead and listen to this particular episode or any of the Podcast for Education episodes on our podcast channel. Log on to www.africabusinessradio.com to do so. I am Onoja, saying, do not stop learning.